All right, welcome back everyone, and thank you for checking out Sunday Brunch, the behind-the-scenes look at Saturday night. All right, let's get it in.
Saturday Night is the second single from my sequel concept album, Songs of Life and Love Volume 2. It's an album series, and it tells the story of a man who thinks his girlfriend Cindy left him because he was a struggling rapper. After some encouragement from his friends and recovering from the breakup, he finally decides to pursue his dream of starting a funk rock band. They dubbed themselves Polyglamorous and the Hot 16s. So by the end of Volume 1, they start to have some really big hits and become the biggest band in the world. Quite a comeback, right? Except that Polly is still really hurt by what happened. One of the big themes of this series is the feeling of not being appreciated for who you are, but rather for what you do and what you have. This gets philosophical, as someone argued that you are what you do and what you have. And to a great extent, in capitalism, this holds true. But can we truly be defined by a financial system, though? Essentially, Paulie is having an existential crisis, and these are some of the narratives being tossed around. So enter Volume 2, he's financially very successful now and super famous. Getting girls is no problem. But of course, that good old quandary again, how real is the love these women are showing him? And for that matter, how real is love at all? It's a nightmare paradise. The life of luxury, yet with the dread of this empty world of materialism. In this particular video, Paulie is getting into the world of movies. As it happens with other pop stars, this propels his fame and fortune into even greater heights, making him an icon. So another thing going on throughout the video is Paulie portraying different characters in different movies. We have the main one, Thunderblade. This is the villainous assassin, the ninja, an antagonist of Dueling Ninjas. He also plays an unnamed gangster character. Of course, this is also symbolic, being that this all ties in with an even larger theme of playing a role. All through this series, people are watching TV and movies. It goes back to the idea of identity. Paulie is just a show business persona. However, the hero of our story finds himself being consumed by it. So what's real and what's fantasy? Is there really any difference? Was he really just Paulie all along? And also tie in the idea that he's portraying this life of wealth and glamour when, in fact, he's having the worst time of his life. Once again, just acting. So yeah, I can run through the video and break it down now that you have a bit of the backstory. Here's Paulie watching himself on TV as Dueling Ninjas comes on, sort of basking in the feeling of starring in a martial arts flick, getting into it. At first, I was going to have him play the hero, but I thought it would be more fitting if he was the bad guy. This is symbolic of him going down a dark path. Now going into the battle scene between Thunderblade and Ninja Bats, the good guy. I was originally going to jump backwards off the bridge, so it looked like I was jumping forwards onto it when I reversed the footage. As you could probably tell, that's what I did here. I reversed it. And this is a classic martial arts movie technique. In any case, my ninja skills are a bit rusty. I just jumped normally off the bridge, so it's a little awkward, but also that way I was able to add this cool turning move, like I'm transitioning into the jump. So all things considered, for doing my own stunts, I thought I did pretty well. And more on that in the outtakes. And here I am performing in the Watermelon Room. I definitely wanted some concert footage to get the party vibe going. This part was cool, finally using gimbals on my phone's camera. It gave it such a cinematic feel. I kept raving to Bob the cameraman about what a difference a gimbal can make. What's funny is I actually gave some of the scenes an intentionally shaky look to make them seem more natural and vintage. On that note, we were using a Nokia C210 phone to film most of this video. I noticed it comes out with a lower quality, kind of retro footage look, and I added a film filter and a shaky effect again to give it that 70s look. This footage is from a Halloween show a few years ago. I green screened it onto this TV set, and I was going to get an old TV and just play it somehow on there, but I like how this turned out. It has sort of a trippy effect. Here's the gangster character. I was inspired by the retro architecture of these apartments, and this seemed like a good time to add them in. This is from a show at the Crown of Baltimore. I spliced this footage in here. This part was cool. I guess the symbolism here is that we're larger than life. I had trouble green screening us onto this scene since we've recorded ourselves separately and the coloring and whatnot didn't match. My screen is only so big, so I had to film at different times. However, I noticed that if I used this transparent effect, it eliminated a lot of the problem spots. I ended up liking it even more than the original solid look, quote unquote, and just ran with it. It also reminds me of vintage music videos. I had to get some Scarface footage in there. This is pivotal. It's like, yes, the world is yours, but it came with a price, and it will come to haunt you later. In this way, it's just like Polly, so there's some subtle foreshadowing going on here. Plus, it's a way to get this funky 70s and 80s mix of aesthetics. This is from the Depot in Baltimore during the open mic. I saw the lights and dancing going, and I was like, let's just go ahead and start filming. Really added to the vibe. I also like how I just slapped it down and somehow the rhythm of the dancing fits with the music, even though I didn't take much time to try to sync them up. This panel effect was done by Facebook. I realized after posting the videos to myself on Facebook, I could play them in this format, which also gives it a 70s feel. I thought that turned out very nicely. You'll see that a bit in the movies and shows from that era. The green screens, the bodysuits, not only does it give it a surreal effect, it's also symbolic, as if to say, here's what's going on behind the role that's played, this illusion. People might wonder, what does this have to do with partying? Well, it's Saturday night, Polly is watching movies, and here's what's going on behind the scenes to make those movies. It's not just random stuff thrown in, but things that are actually relevant, no matter how strange or obtuse they might seem. So I'm making connections here in a way. This scene not only incorporates that, but also the idea of a shadow self. In this part, I was going to find an actual disco dance floor, or maybe even build one. But as you can see, I opted for this instead. Again, time constraints. I'd like to do something like that in the future with an actual disco floor. But for this particular video, I think it actually works out better in a way. Ah yes, now here we have the transaction. Once again, I am signing my life away in exchange for money. Another common theme throughout the series. I thought I'd include the Hollywood thing a bit subtly in the background to really get the point across that Polly is getting into the movie industry. Now here we have dancing ninjas. This was meant to have both me and Ninja Bats in the scene, but we were a bit off-center on the green screen, so it was a bit awkward trying to get it to look right. Instead, as you can see, I just did a mirror effect on myself. Again, I thought it was kind of neat this way. Now in the outro section, jumping right into the big showdown between Ninja Bats and Thunderblade, another old school martial arts film trick, speeding up the footage. I was wondering if it looked too fakey, which again is okay for comical stuff like this, but I was pleased though that it turned out pretty well. The list of names that pop up on here for credits, that's a bit of an Easter egg in itself. If you can read Japanese, you'll get a kick out of it. It's got some goofy names. So now some more of the backstory about this outro skit. Originally, I was going to have Cindy's rival, Wanda, featured in the video. As a recap, Wanda is the one who actually manipulated the whole situation where Polly and Cindy broke up. The irony is that Polly starts dating Wanda to get back at Cindy, and Wanda is dating Polly to get back at Cindy once more. It's also ironic that Cindy ends up becoming famous herself. After some scandalous incidents and rumors about Cindy and Polly, the press hypes this up, and it gains Cindy her own following. Having issues with the biggest star on the planet has its perks, it would seem. I didn't add this part of the story until I added this outro skit to the video, something to spice it up. Honestly, it makes it more convincing, I think, in a way, being that tabloid culture is like that. In any case, I didn't have time to hunt down extra cast members to play Wanda, so I just ran with this instead. It kind of works out. For Cindy, she wasn't meant to be present physically anyways. I took some old footage of the filming for Her Man, the first single of the series, where one of my friends had already played Cindy and added it into the outro skit of Saturday Night. This way I could do everything between me and Batman. Oh, and Bob, of course, too, and a few other people which I mentioned. In any case, Wanda was going to originally be watching TV with Polly. Polly sees Cindy moving on to someone else on TV and gets upset. This makes Wanda jealous, being that Polly still has feelings for Cindy, and so on. Now to make things even more confusing, this wasn't even the original story, if you're going by the album, with its story arc. I was really just going to have Polly coming out of the club and seeing Wanda cheating on him with someone else, but in a way though, again, I like this better. I changed it because of the Hollywood theme that developed during the brainstorming for this video. But in either version though, Polly's relationship with Wanda goes from being a form of revenge to a genuine connection. He starts to wonder if Wanda is in fact the one, and if destiny has brought them together through a strange series of events. Paulie still wants to believe. Saturday Night is actually the end of Volume 2, where things really fall apart with him and Wanda, and then it leads into Volume 3. It's like he had 2 major breakups in a row. And this is where he goes off the deep end and starts to drink and drug to a crazy extent. But in any case, that's a future chapter in the series. Alright, now as always, a Daryltron tradition, I'm going to hit you with the outtakes.
It's time to party. It's so crazy. It's Saturday night. It's Saturday night.
Like a t-shirt. I know, they might as well. Didn't they do a parody of that?
I don't know.
They should have, they could have. It's just like, that was genius. Genius fight scene.
Action.
Oh, a little further? Well, it doesn't have to be, yeah. There you go. Oh. Keep going. So get to the end of the wood part. There you go. Now just pretend you're talking to somebody down there. You do it like a little. Yeah. Keep going a little more. A little more. Oh no, I meant talking. Oh sorry. Keep talking like a few more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, you can go a little bit more. Yeah. Kind of like that. Okay.
Action. Action.
That was it. Something like that.
Yeah, action.
Alright, cool. That'll work. It is.
Let's try.
Okay.
Let's try that.
And, ooh.
Action.
How's that look? Cool. Should be good. Let's see.
All right, we're rolling.
Yeah, good, come on. Yeah. What? Cool. This is the money bag thing. You're like, oh, sure. Hell yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to redo that one.
Oh,
About to smash into something.
I never. I feel like that one was pretty solid.
Nope, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I was letting him.
We're going now.
Rock and roll. Okay, here we go.
Thank you. It's out.
Inside the concert? It was really warm for the first, I don't know. Maybe it was just like how close they were.
Cool.
And it sounds so nice.
It sounds so nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's good. Boom. Cool. All right. Cool. I'm good.
Hold on. Let me get one.
Yeah, get a couple. Yeah. Either.
Boom. Boom. Huh. 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 And huh.
Nice.
That'll work.
That's it.
That's it.
Cool.
Okay, and scene.
Nice. That's it.
Action.
Ready? Nice. Yeah, that's it.
Go.
And then yeah, just hit stop.
Hit stop. End scene.
Scene.
End of scene. End of scene. Okay, hold on. Let me get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
All right. And thank you once again for checking out this documentary. Catch you guys on the flip side. All right. Peace.
Yeah.